for the Goldfinch finale.
Cheers, tears. That's all I got.
Cheers and tears.
Yes.
That is a good summary.
Yeah.
This whole series is cheers and tears.
It is.
Cheers and tears. That would be a good bar.
Ooh, that would be a great bar.
Yeah.
Also a good drink name.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, if you want to switch yours real quick right now. We are here for the Goldfinch finale. For the Goldfinch...
We'll play the Prisoner
Roundup.
finale.
Oh, sorry. The Play to Prisoner series finale.
Yeah.
Shout out to Raven Kennedy for all of it. This is her creation, and we have talked about it over and over and over again.
Yes.
And we're here to talk about it more.
Yeah, one more time.
So I'm assuming that anyone listening to this are also obsessed with this series, because you wouldn't be here otherwise.
No.
Right? Only the people who want more and more of this series are going to be listening. So we're all in the same boat together, and we love you.
Yes. We feel
and we all
you.
love each other.
Such a great journey. Just like, I remember like reading it for the first time and how much I'm like touched my soul. And just like Oren's, I think Oren specifically, especially the first few books. And I think even though it is like a fantasy novel, like Oren, I think we've said from the beginning, it's just like so relatable, and like you're able to relate to her, and I think experiences and like stuff she's gone through, and especially like the first one, where like that one, I think I cried reading it the first time, and then also realizing I'm like, oh, I still do these things, and just like.
Yeah, and even if you haven't had her exact experience, right? Like even you and I have had different life experiences, and yet you're able to like take the pieces that you can relate to, and it really hits hard.
Yeah. Where now I'm like, I just want to be like Oren and find someone like Slade.
Well,
just I feel like in general, just him, like he's just such a cheerleader.
Yes.
Like his like support, like in that way. I think just
you're doing great, girl. You're the best. Yeah. Shine like a star. You are. Yes, girl.
Yeah. Even when you're in like your down times, he's still.
No. Haters gonna hate.
Yeah. I know you. I know how great you can be.
Yeah, they don't
I
see
got
it.
your back. Haters gonna hate. Just starts dancing.
Okay. But we are going to have fun too. We are going to talk about the heart stuff, but we are going to have some fun because we do have awards, and some of those awards I think are fun. The first one that we're going to do... No, we're not going to do awards first because we need our final drink.
Yes, but before that, I had gotten you a gift for when Goldfinch first came out. I also bought myself the gift because that's how I buy gifts.
One for you and one for me.
Yeah. So I was excited. I was like, oh, I'll get it for you for your birthday. Then release dates. And then I also had to get it sent to the border. It's a super late gift.
Another copy?
You have to open it.
What? Oh my gosh. How did you get this?
There was a bookstore that she worked with in the States that they did like a special where she signed a bunch of copies. And so I had to email them because I couldn't pay because I was Canadian. So they did it like a separate way. So then they were able to send it to the border.
Oh my god, that's a lot of effort.
But it's Raven Kennedy.
Oh my god, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, just for anyone listening that isn't seeing what we're doing, it is a Goldfinch hardcover with Raven Kennedy's signature inside.
Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was so excited.
I would hug you, but we have stuff between us. I'll hug you after. And you know what? My Goldfinch copy, I might have said this on one of our episodes, but going home after one of our podcast recordings, I put my Goldfinch copy in my bag, and it was like right after I got it, and I like spilled something on it. So now my Goldfinch copy has like red ink or something.
Right. Well,
I don't know what I spilled on it, but it has it on the cover, and this is like, so now I got a nice, beautiful...
Another one.
That's so nice, thank you.
You're welcome. Don't spill on it.
Don't put it in your bag with all your random things, with all your cocktail ingredients.
Yeah, spill directly on the signature.
You always give me gifts.
I really like getting gifts. I was also
You're
just so
good at
excited when that came up that she posted on her Instagram that she was doing it. And so there was also like limited copies. So I was like
I think I saw that.
And I was like panic emailing like the bookshop.
Good gift giver. Yeah. I'm not as thoughtful as you. It's always surprising to me.
Okay, drinks before they melt.
What's your final drink? Or let's try it, or what?
Yeah, we'll try it first.
Okay, cheers. I don't know what this is.
Not bad. It's peach schnapps, vanilla vodka, simple syrup with champagne.
You love your champagne.
Yeah. So it's topped off with champagne. So you mix everything together and the gold, and then you top it off with champagne. And I did put a little bit more champagne in it, I realized, than probably should have, because it's meant to be like in a champagne glass. Mm. So it was just like topped off with champagne, but I put probably more in than I should have.
I mean, I love champagne.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. It's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, now we have to fit it into our cocktail countdown. For those of you who don't know, our cocktail countdown, we take all of the cocktails we've done in this Pleaded Prisoner series, and we are going to do our least favorite to our most favorite, and we're going to give points to it. Whoever gets the least amount of points, which feels counterintuitive, right? Because you're like, oh, I want the most points to win. No, but in our cocktail countdown, you want the least amount of points to win.
Yeah.
So either Jamie is going to have the least amount of points, or I'm going to have the least amount of points, and that is going to be the cocktail crown of this season.
Yes. And do I take a drink out?
You're going to have to take a drink out. So what we decided was whoever had the most drinks gets to take a drink out, right?
Yeah.
The drink that we believe is going to do the worst. Take it out of the running. Okay. Do you want to start with your last one?
Yes. I have Fourth Army.
What?
I mean, to be fair, I did have Deadwell.
Get out of town.
Are you like being sarcastic?
No.
Oh. It was the mulled wine.
It was the mulled wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, if we remember, that was from Glint. No, Glint.
Glint.
That was from Glint.
Yeah.
When she was with the Fourth Army.
Yeah.
And there ended up being mulled wine later with Osric and Risa.
I know.
Mine is Gold Rot. Not that we talked about this in the episode. It wasn't executed bad. It was like an orange-sicle. If you like orange-sicles, it tasted exactly like that. It was just like,
yeah.
I don't really like orange-sicles. I don't know why I made that. I wanted to try it, and I
tried some
execution
things.
Good, taste. I don't want to have it again.
No. My 11 is also Gold Rot.
Okay, on the same page there.
Yeah.
Okay, mine is Dawn's Bird.
Oh, I didn't think it was that bad.
It wasn't bad. It was just like, it felt like tequila and orange juice.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, number 10.
No, you go first.
Mine was Revenge.
Oh, same.
Oh, okay. So Revenge was one of those like tricky ones because I screwed it up when we did the podcast recording.
Yeah.
And we talked about how I was trying to make it and I was trying to double the recipe and then also talking to Jamie and then I was like, I think I maybe screwed up this recipe. And then we tasted it, we're like, that's sour. And so then I made it later at home and I was like, this is how it's supposed to taste. This was not how it's supposed to taste when me and Jamie tried it. So it is a fully rounded drink. And it's pretty good. It's not one that I want to have again. It was like, It was apricot liqueur, sherry wine. It was all right. It just wasn't my taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So number 9.
I have Yellow Bell.
Okay. I have Goldfinch.
Oh.
Oh my god, we're going to be so off on this. This is so funny.
Okay, what do you have next?
I have Gold Part 2.
Oh. I thought that was a good drink.
It was.
Oh, okay. I have Slade's Heart.
Okay. So, a Gold Part 2, that's not the real name. We just couldn't remember what the name of the town was.
Naomi's Aerith or something? Naomi's Aerith?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Where they had the party after they went to Brielle.
Yeah.
It wasn't hot, so I feel like it didn't get the full effect when we tried it. And
I feel like I really liked it though.
It was good, but it felt a little bland. Okay, so number 7.
Commander Riot for number 7.
I have Queen Melina.
Oh.
Which is it's good. I like that one.
Enjoyed that one.
Is that your first one?
I'm so curious
way?
how this is going to feel.
Number 6
is Dawn's Bird for me.
Okay, mine was Slade's Heart.
Okay.
Now this one I bumped a little bit because I feel like in the moment I was like, but I felt like it had so much potential. Like I understood what you were going for.
Yeah.
And so it genuinely was one I would make again. I loved the ginger beer.
Yes.
The ginger beer with, what is it mixed with? Is it mixed with?
Dark rum.
Dark rum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one is actually probably one that I would try again.
Okay, number 5.
I have Oran.
Okay, I have mustard. I was really proud of mustard.
I ended up really liking the mustard drink. I was shocked.
Yes. Would I make it again? Probably not, but I bumped it up because it was just... This is a mustard drink that ended up being really good. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Number 4?
I'm like, switch. Okay.
Don't do it!
Okay. The Nomi's Aerith. I really liked it.
It was, yeah, it was good. Mine is Commander Riot.
Okay.
I mean, I said this when I made it. Like, I like those bitter drinks. Like, I like a Negroni.
Yes.
I like an Aperol Spritz. So I would 100% make this drink again. Yeah, and I would enjoy it.
It's not my style.
Okay, number 3.
Goldfinch.
Okay, mine
Oh,
is...
I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, we didn't even say what it was called.
Yeah, that's what
we just assumed.
Yeah, the one from today is called Goldfinch.
My number 3 is the Fourth Army. But if you listen to that episode of Glint, I really liked it.
Yes.
And I said in that, I would make this again.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I like mulled wine.
That's lots of people do.
That's
just,
me.
But I thought about drinking it again.
I'm just an old man sitting outside looking at the trees, looking at the raccoons, and drinking my hot wine.
Yeah.
And telling the neighborhood children to shut up. That's what I imagine. Anyway, number 2.
Mustard.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Mine is Oran.
Oh.
I just remember, that was our first.
That was the very first
That was our first episode. So Guild. And I just remember tasting it and being like, I'm impressed. It was a bourbon, which I don't... We've said bourbon is not my favorite, but it was bourbon mixed with lemon and sugar, and it ended up being really good.
Yeah, I'm loving bourbon. Okay.
Number 1. This is
Queen
hilarious.
Melina.
Queen Melina.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
I loved that one.
What did you love about it?
I was just, I think, surprised because I obviously usually the rum and eggnog's only milky kind of thing I like.
Yeah, you don't, dairy is not your favorite drink, so.
But when I was just looking at all of them, that was the one where I was like, no, I loved that. And I would have it again. So yeah, that was.
Okay. Mine was Yellow Bell.
Oh!
Which was way far down on your list.
I know. Now I'm second guessing every decision I've made.
I just liked it because it was different, right? It was rum, it was vanilla liqueur, it was super simple, but the flavors worked together.
Yeah.
It was really enjoyable. I would make it again.
Oh. This turned out so differently than I thought it was going to.
I know. It's all over the place. Oh. Okay, let's tally. Okay, the calculations are done. I would like to say you really tanked my drinks.
I'm so sorry.
Because I had us almost tied.
Oh.
It was 1 point away.
Oh my god.
You did not at all. But the winner with 74 points to my 83 is Jamie.
Oh, right. How it works.
Did you think it was me who won? No, it's you. But I will say, even though it was close, I still did have you as the winner.
What do you mean?
Even though it was in my rankings.
Yeah.
You were 1 point
Oh, I was above. Okay.
Yeah. You had 1 less point than me, so you were still the winner in my category.
I'm also very sorry for putting 3 of yours last. I didn't even do it on purpose. At first, I honestly thought one of them was mine. I get to keep my crown.
You do. You do. We're going to start off with a shout out to the cliffhangers because Raven Kennedy is the queen of cliffhangers.
Yes. Yes, she is.
And as
it is the reason I have a Kindle.
Right.
Yeah.
That is something Jamie had to run out to the store.
Yeah.
I think after Glint.
Yes.
And you had to know.
I had to know what happened next.
So in Guild, I think the cliffhanger was just that she was taken by the 4th Army, right?
Yeah.
In the 4th Army, and that one, we had still thought they were like the enemy. They were the worst. So it was really scary.
Yeah. It was so scary. That big Ravager. No, that was Rip.
That was Rip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in Glint, the end of Glint is what hooked me, because I did talk about at the beginning of the series, I was not sure about it. I didn't know if I was going to continue. Yeah. I didn't get it. And then at the end of Glint, I was like, holy shit, I am on board for whatever she is going to give me.
Because Rip
is Ravager?
Yeah, that, I was like, what?
I need the next book. And Jamie had to go to Best Buy at 8 p.m. like a crazy lady and say, give me their Kindles.
Yes. I can't find this book in a bookstore right now.
She did not have a Kindle previously, and that is what got her.
Yeah. And I love my Kindle now.
So Gleam, Oren murders Midas and others.
Mm-hmm. And
then she's public enemy number 1. That was like huge. And then you're like, what the
And then Rip also had to kind of kill her as well.
He did. Yeah. He did rot her.
Yeah.
And then in Glow.
Oh my god.
She goes through a rip in the world. Melina restores the bridge to Lemuria, and then the Fae are coming. Risa's stabbed.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a whole bunch of shit just piled on shit.
Yes. Oh my god.
And then Gold, Oren is in the hands of the king. She has the little worms in her head. She loses her memory.
They're still
Luna
not
was
reunited?
Stabbed. Like,
oh my god, yes.
The cliffhangers are wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I was not okay, obviously, with finding a favorite moment, because that didn't happen. We are going to just talk about favorite moments throughout the book. Usually we would just do one favorite moment, or like maybe a couple, but we're gonna let's look at the book.
I think just actually out of like the whole series, this is one of my favorite quotes, is the one should never decide something as serious as bangs when they have a bottle of wine in their stomachs. And I just felt like that was such a great introduction to Oren. Another I did have as a favorite moment is just the opening scene.
The orgy.
Yeah, I just felt like that was just such a wild, weird, strong opening.
It was. Yeah, I love that Raven Kennedy did that. It could deter some people, but not us.
No. Orgy, we're in.
What's happening? Another funny Oren moment that kind of got me liking her, which she said, what I wouldn't give to cock King Fulky in his cuckoo right now. And then she's singing in her head, cock him in the cuckoo. And I think this is in the same vein of talking about the joke she makes about the bangs and the bottle of wine in her stomach. She's just trying to stay positive and make it through whatever she's going through.
She has a humor about everything, which I enjoy.
There's obviously maybe not the most, but one of the most popular quotes, which is, does it really matter if your cage is gold when you aren't allowed to leave it? A cage is a cage, no matter how gilded.
Yes. And one of my favorite ones is, men making deals on the behalf of women never seems to go very well for the women. And then the next one is also one that I had down, is when she kills the captain of the Red Raids by gilding him. And we're like, what? Oh my god. Oren could do it. And how she says, because I just turned the motherfucker to solid gold.
Right. And that was part of the cliffhanger, because it was like, Wait,
What?
Orin turned him gold?
Yeah. How?
She has these powers?
Yes.
Is that her power? Like, you wanna...
Oh my god, I want to reread it already.
You wanna know more. Okay, and then I have to, like, bring it down because... Can we talk about Sail?
Yeah, I love my Sail.
One of my favorite quotes is, "But a simple friendship, just two people who enjoy talking to each other, who can share stories and meet in laughter, conspiring only for one another's amusement." That is friendship in, like, a very simplistic form.
Yeah.
But Orin had only known people, at least in her post-5-year-old mind, people who manipulated her.
Yeah.
People who used her, and otherwise she was on her own. So this really simplistic friendship that she was able to form with Sail, it was just like, it makes you as a reader sort of go like, yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, just to have
this
that.
really thing that maybe you take for granted. Yeah, that does sound really great.
They don't want anything from you but your friendship.
He isn't looking at you as like a sexual prospect. He's not like trying to get something from you. He just like is enjoying your company.
Yeah. Oh, Sail. Number 2, Glint. Oh, good. You have one of the quotes that I liked that I didn't write down. So we got to know the Wrath.
That was my, like, when I think about Glint.
It's all about that. I loved that time.
You don't appreciate it until, like, later, and you're like, oh, that was just such a vibe to, like, go to Glint.
Yeah.
And, like, just get to know the Wrath, get to know the 4th Army. Yeah. That was like, oh, it's like a cozy just
army
little
vibes.
Hug.
Yes.
Now that you know the context.
Oh, yeah. Like Judd and Lou and their wine barrels.
They're just so fun.
Yeah. Osric,
the wine
just
barrel
everything
stealing and how they brought Orin in.
Yeah. You also, you have one of my favorite quotes, which was between her and Lou.
Yeah. Do you want to read that one?
So Lou says, "We're a woman in a man's world. I'm sure you know how that is." Orin dips her chin and says, "I do." "Good," she says with a terse nod, the shaven blades in her scalp stabbing down with the movement. "Then you know that we have 2 options." She lifts a finger. "The first is we can conform, be what they want, act to please. It's a safe option." I fidget on my feet, every part of me listening, attention rapt, though uneasiness mingles alongside my intrigue. "In option 2, she holds a second finger, but instead of doing it on the same hand, she raises her other. I don't know why that feels significant, but it does. "Option 2 is harder. It's harder for us," she admits, looking me straight in the eye. "There will always be someone who will try to make us choose option 1, but don't. Don't lie down to make it easier for the world to keep you under its thumb. Own your shit and choose yourself." Yes, Lou.
Yes.
One of the best. There's just so many like life quotes in here, as we've talked about.
You could just feel just do life lesson quotes from Raven Kennedy and just like do those excerpts and then put them in a frame, pocketbook,
or a pocketbook, or on my body as tattoos. I don't know, anything. But just some of them, I'm just like, yeah, like this. I'm like, yes.
Oh, but we do get really good Slade quotes in this book too.
Mm-hmm.
When
when
he's rep. "Sometimes things need to be ruined in order to be remade."
Stop it.
Wisdom.
Right? And the next one. "You may not be behind bars anymore, but you're still in that cage. And I think part of you wants to stay in there because you're afraid. But I think another part of you, the part you repress, is ready to be free." You're so intelligent.
He's just calling her out.
Oh, I loved that when he was just doing that. But then, like, you're also, like, pushing her.
But it also felt, like, really uncomfortable because you're like, stop being mean.
Yeah. Like, stop also saying the truth.
Yeah, she doesn't like it. Okay, Glow. Oh. Okay, Gleam. Oh, okay. Let me just off the bat. This is... If I'm going to make my top 3 Pleaded Prisoner favorite moments, this is it. The balcony scene.
I knew you were going to have that, yes.
You knew.
Yeah.
You knew.
Yes.
You knew this made me hot.
Yes.
This kissing scene.
Yeah. Best kissing scene.
It's the best kissing scene, And we do later realize that Slade, when he says, "You were quite the pair, you and I," in this scene, we later know that he was
being a little trickster with that comment.
He was being a little cute because he knew that she was his payer bond, and she didn't know, and he just, I don't know if he thinks he's on a reality TV show that he needs to like say that, but he just like laughs to himself in his own head.
Like, just wait till she figures this out.
Yeah, and then we're
gonna laugh about this later.
This is gonna be hilarious on our wedding day. I don't know. But I just still love that scene because it did still feel, even though we felt the build-up, it still felt unexpected.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know Oren was going to get there and that she was going to let herself do that. And it just gave us a taste to the point that when it ended, I was like, no! I wanted it to continue, but for the sake of the story, I know it needed not to continue.
Yes.
That is good writing.
Oh, and the classic, "You're not the villain in my story. I am," he says without remorse, his sharp jaw tight with tension, "but I'll be the villain for you, not to you." Yes, please. Oh, and then this one, I just remember, I feel like reading it, I'm like, I'm just going to highlight the whole book.
I'm just highlighting the whole book now, yeah.
Especially when it's like they finally come together. I think out of like all the books, that was probably my favorite. So much like vulnerability. It was also super hot.
Well, you get these big speeches,
yes.
But then I know as you were just saying that, I'm like, okay, there's the big speeches, but then there's the moment where he's waiting for the sun to go down.
Yes.
And for her powers to be nullified so that he could touch her, and that just anticipation is...
Yeah. And it's also that it's like a big first for her.
Yes.
And just, there's just so many like elements to that part. I just loved it. I loved it so much.
I want all of you. Every piece, every memory, every minute, every inch. This isn't going to be some casual dalliance. This isn't going to be temporary. I want you, your soul, your mind, your body. I want your trust and your thoughts. I want your past, your present, your future. So make very certain that you want me for the right reasons. Be certain that you're choosing this, because once you do, there's no turning back. Oh, okay.
Can someone say that to me, please?
I'll take it. Okay, do you want to do the Oren one?
Yeah. "The world taught me that things could always be worse. I learned to always look up, to take what I could get, to settle. I became too blinded by my bright sides to see the truth. Sometimes you look at the silver lining so much that you drift into denial about the clouds."
I love this because I think in the first few books, when she was immersed in this abusive relationship with Midas, the bright sides were such a good strategy to getting by.
Yeah, to just get through that.
And this is such a good lesson for like coping strategies. It's like, this had a good origin. This really helped me at this point in my life.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now I'm at this other point in my life where I have realized things, where I have perspective. This really over positive mentality is actually maybe blinding me from some things.
Yeah.
Right?
That I don't want to accept. And
yes, that was helpful, but now it's stopping me from seeing the situation that I'm in that's holding me back from my life. So I loved this like progressive transition of her perspective.
Yeah. Well, okay, I was just making see what I had for this, but it's what you have for the next one.
The killing of Midas.
Yes, and the 5 taps.
Yes. The 5 taps.
Oh.
So funny.
Yeah. Such a great killing scene.
If I were ever to murder someone, this would be it. Now, would that person know what I was talking about?
Nope.
No.
It doesn't matter.
They'd be like, "Why are you chopping me 5 times?"
It's weird.
She took the 6th one. They're like, "What?" No, but this really, Midas was obsessed with
the number 6.
The number 6. So just the 5 taps is just like, it was so petty. And sometimes petty is just like, Oh, it's the best when
Yeah.
it's warranted.
Yeah, and just like the last fuck you to him.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
I loved it. And I made a reel about it if you ever want to check it out.
You did.
I don't know if I posted it on Instagram though. I might have just done it on TikTok.
Oh, well.
Well, I made a reel about it. Let's talk about Glow.
Okay.
The really surprising part of this book for me, because I was dreading it a little bit, because I was like, oh, I don't like sadness. You know, you're kind of like, oh my god, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But
you have a lot here for Glow.
We started learning about Slade's background, and I was so surprised about how much I loved that.
I really, really enjoyed
when
that.
I started reading it, I was like, oh, we're going to learn about something. No, it ended up being, like, my favorite parts of this book.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to... I'm just going to throw out one of my favorite parts. With the reference to Oz's tree trunk thighs. Yeah, I loved that. In the beginning of that, like, relationship. But mostly his tree trunk thighs. So shout out.
Explain it.
Oh, just how they were, like, I think they were around a fire and he goes to sit down and Rissa's trying not to be attracted to him.
Yeah, but she very much is because he has tree trunk thighs.
Yeah.
And they have mulled wine.
Mulled wine and tree trunk thighs. I love one of those two things.
Yeah.
Love you all.
Okay. I think this is one of my favorite quotes from the series.
Oh my god, yes. Agreed.
Do you want to do Slade's part?
Yeah. Here I am, complaining that I missed someone who's just a doorway, while you were stolen from your parents at such a young age. I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry? One person's pain doesn't negate another's. Our heartaches are not competition, but the bridge to empathy, so that we can look at one another and know that on some level we understand. That's one beautiful thing about grief, I think, that sometimes we can find someone in the world to look at from the other side of the bridge of our torments and know that we are not alone. Oh,
so good.
This is a lesson that so many people can take, right?
Yeah.
It's just because your woes are not as big as another's, it doesn't mean they don't matter.
Yeah.
There's always going to be someone who has it harder than you. Yeah. Oh, the sex scene.
Okay, I also had that. He says, I see you, Goldfinch, and she says, I see you, Rip, and asks if this is what love is. But we did talk a lot about that sex scene, like, in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like, praising Raven for just how she writes her sex scenes. Like, they're so good. And just with this, like, quote, with the right person, there is power when you kneel. There is adoration with submission. There is balance with control. So good.
Oh, yeah. Her perspectives, her on writing sexual intimacy and interweaving the relational nuance and complications of that with someone's complicated inner world and experiences is beautiful.
Yeah.
I think if we're just thinking of in this book too, there's just cute Lou and Judd. One of my favorites is Lou saying, I need you all to tuck your dicks in for a second and try to think rationally like a woman.
Oh, I loved that part.
Which I would like to repeat in my real life somewhere.
Yeah.
And I might at some point. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Another moment from this book is when they get there and she can't find her. And she's up on the roof. Shout out to my Halloween costume. But when she's up on the roof, just finally being able to, like, be out in the daylight and having, like, the sun on her. And I love that moment.
And shout out to all of us where we have our environments that, like, give us energy.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is for you? Like, are you, like, I need, like, go out in the sun and, like, observe the sun, or are you something else?
Oh, I think, yeah. I like sun. Unless it's, like, really hot sun.
You like hot sun?
No, not when it's really hot. But I do love...
Either.
Literally today I was waiting to go into an appointment and the sun was out and I'm like, it hasn't been out in so long. And I was just, like, outside, like, head to the sky.
Yeah. The sun gives me a rash. I'm like very Caucasian Scandinavian.
Yeah.
I am, and I'm very sensitive. The sun gives me a rash. So that is, I am not Oren in that sense.
Yeah. Oh, you know what?
I like the shade.
And you know what? The stars, I feel like, is more.
I love the forest. I like the trees. I like the overhang because I do like
shade.
I like shade. I like shade. A breeze, leaves, squawking squirrels. That is. Let's get into gold. Town Square. I know that was one of your faves.
I do have that down. I loved it. Just
who dares interfere with the crown justice?
I fucking do.
You will pay for that.
I can afford it.
Yeah.
She is in her power.
Her gold.
And the rain's coming down. And she's standing up for herself. Oh.
This is where we get to see her hone her powers a little bit more.
Yes.
And so that was like a big turning point. Like when you're reading, you're like, oh my gosh, she's doing these little things and she's battling this man by like making this little creepy gold thing creep up. Oh, I loved it. It was like a sneaky little snake.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you're so good.
So smart.
And she starts doing a little, and like using, even like putting the rot in.
Oh, yeah.
Super sneaky. Like, oh, yeah. Yes, I love this for you.
We do get a moment with Oren and Emily in this book.
Oh, yeah.
The grief one. And to be honest, I couldn't remember which one was Emily and which one was Oren. But that's
because I think we had both said different ones.
Well, no, because one of them... Because I remember reading the book and it was like... Emily says one out loud, but then Oren thinks one in her head. Okay. So some people are in your life for... only a moment, like a shooting star, quick and short, but they light up a part of you for a second, and then their brightness lingers even after they're gone.
Others might judge that. They might think grief should be determined by the amount of time you had with someone, but that isn't true at all. Grief isn't based on someone's length of presence. It's based on the impact of their absence. Another favorite moment, Osric in the flower shop. I loved it.
I know.
So good.
And I know that people listening, there may have been listeners who are like, why are these assholes repeating every dialogue in this flower shop interaction? It's because we love that scene.
Yeah.
We love that scene.
Oh.
And we want to be silly sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, it's a funny, sweet scene. Another favorite of mine.
Give me the fucking flowers.
They're poisonous. I love
particular flower.
The carriage scene. I'm just gonna keep pointing out the sex scenes that I like. But also I like how she's like, what if I want to do all these things and this, and he's like, yeah, okay, cool, we'll do that.
Yeah, you do whatever you want. I will literally just be here.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna be here.
Just supporting you.
Yeah. Melina, we haven't talked about Melina. So a Melina quote in the Gold Book that I really liked. Every man I've ever opened for has always trodden on me, burned my heart to ash, and left me to scrape up the remnants. So perhaps my heart is made of ice. But if it is, the cold that everyone saw me as, and the cold that protected me.
And we gotta meet the assassin, which is...
I know, we don't even... There's too much to cover.
I know, but just I want to just shout him out.
Yeah,
Dominic.
Yeah, love Dominic.
Oh, yes. Slade and his revenge era was so good.
He does go full villain here, which we
Covered
know that he was like, he was villain light, but this moment brought him back.
Yeah. Oh, so many good lines.
Villain.
He had so many good lines.
Yeah.
Where he was just raging.
And then the Queen Isolde death.
Oh my god, so good.
It was so good. It was epic.
So many good deaths in this series.
We also get the Volman Vigil scene where Oren goes back to Briole.
Oh my god, right.
And then they have
Yeah.
the big party to celebrate that she's back.
Yes.
Like, there's so many good scenes.
Oh, even like not that it's like a great, but figuring out that she's in Slade's house and that's Slade's dad.
Yes.
That was just like, I can like feel like how my body felt reading it. Where I was like, what? Holy shit. Like,
huge.
Yeah.
And as you're reading it, you're like, fuck you, Raven Kennedy. And also like, how are you so smart to do this?
Yeah, there's not that many pages left.
What's gonna happen? Oh my god, it's a cliffhanger.
Oh, and then like the aura thing happens.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's so fucking good.
Okay, let's go. Okay, Goldfinch. The start of Goldfinch with Risa and Osric was a huge
Yes, I loved it.
Me. Those chapters of them getting together was great. We obviously had a favorite with the quote that I have. So he looks masculine and broody as if he's just finished training some soldiers before riding a horse and then chopping down a tree. Every single one of those images of Osric flits through my mind, making butterflies skitter through my stomach. I wonder if he does chop wood? Maybe I could be near a window to watch. And it's just, it captured the attractive essence of Osric as really like a dirty big man with tree trunk thighs. We do want to watch him chop wood
all day.
I loved that.
I'll be at that window. I also enjoyed, just because we're saying like the Rissa and Manu in the tower. I enjoyed that a lot.
And Rissa's attitude.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I said Rissa.
Ooh.
Rissa. And then Orin in another town square face-off.
Yes. Oh, I love when she starts and she's just like, enough. Oh, I didn't even realize you also had that. Yeah, she finally says, enough. My name is Orin Turley, and I am the true Laeri Olver. I am not gone, and I do not bow. Yes, Orin. And shout out to the 69.
Shout out to the 69.
Yeah.
Exactly. She went for it.
Yeah, and the swing.
She dived in.
Yeah. The ribbon swing. And poor Wick.
Poor Wick had to witness it all.
Yeah.
And he's confused.
Please get these people away from me.
A good Slade moment was him stomping on Stan's skull. I like how that's the only Slade moment I wrote down in Goldfinch was him stomping Stan. Yeah.
Oh, but it was so good.
But it was a culmination of all of the things he went through with Stanton and the things that Stanton did. And that was just like you don't matter to me, which mirrored Stanton and his speech about how Slade is basically just a means to an end for Stanton to be more powerful, that you were never a son. Yeah. And so Slade just reciprocated like, you don't matter to me either. Yeah. Oh, gives me shivers.
I also just want to shout out Slade once again for his constant admiration of Orin. I just loved it. Just like in his mind, just like looking at her. I'm so proud of her. She's come so far. I love you, Slade. Best book boyfriend ever.
Do we want to talk about the Melina death? Like, that was obviously one of the biggest things in this book too, for me.
Yes, I also just really enjoyed her and Dominic's picnic in the little ice thing. That was kind of one of my favorite. Their little making little sandwiches and stuff. I just enjoyed it. That was one of my favorite moments. And then him asking if he can kiss her. I loved it. Made my heart happy.
And it pre the scene where they both die together, but you get these beautiful moments of them coming together and connecting, and him seeing her evolve as a person.
Yes.
And recognizing that. It was really nice. One of my quotes from her is, if there was anyone I would willingly give myself to like this, it's Domik. For he's the only one who ever truly understood me, the bad parts and the good.
Oh.
That is top relationship goals.
Yes.
Is someone liking you fully for yourself, for the bad stuff and the good.
Yeah.
Great.
I have 2 other moments. One, Argo holding his shit together for Slade while Slade's like falling and like dying, and he's still like somehow managed to like catch him and bring him somewhere, and just like Argo in general.
Great bird.
Yes. And when Riot climbed out of the stone people.
Yes.
That was number one, just jumping down off Argo and landing on the king and then climbing out of his stone people. So good.
And then beheading him.
Yes. Amazing. I also like the Oren quote you have here where he's your dragon, but he's also kind of my dragon.
Yeah, it felt relatable. Like, I would also want to say that if that were me.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay.
Do you want to do the Judd one just because Judd and Lou? You just killed like 100 Fae.
Actually, I killed 100 bloodthirsty Fae. I practically won this battle single-handedly.
You did not.
Don't be jealous, Lulu. You helped a little. Right, Dig? Shout out to Digby.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about him, but shout out to Digby. Oh my god, I thought of another great moment that I loved. It's also kind of, but when they're mending Oren's back and Slade's holding her hand and then Digby's standing by the door. Such a good moment.
Which is in Glow.
Yeah.
Yes, where she has the men by her side who are supportive and she feels safe with.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Anytime Oren tried to cook.
Don't let her cook.
What are we gonna do first?
Well, we just did a million favorite moments. So let's do cringe moments.
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna do one.
Sure.
The scene where she gets her ribbons cut off.
Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah. I don't really want to talk about it, but it was horrendous and I hated it.
Yeah, I hated it so much. The one at the end of Glint, where she goes back to Midas, right? She's been with the Fourth Army. She goes back and then she realizes, oh, this feels icky.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she's so dirty. She's been with the Fourth Army for however long, and she thinks she's going to have this big reunion with Midas.
Yeah.
And then he's like, ooh.
You're dirty. Don't touch me.
Right? So he said, or she says, he's being kind now, his voice no longer hard or accusatory as his hand comes down to pat me. His fingers grace adoringly over my head, a healed pet to be stroked. And right then, I wondered how the hell I fooled myself into thinking this was love.
I had a couple other ones, but I really don't even want to rehash
them. Let's be more positive here and get to the good stuff.
Okay.
Casting Hill, you will die on.
I have 3. Digby, David Harbour.
I was hoping you would have that one because that's wonderful. And when I thought of that one, I was looking at his face again because I did have to go through our Instagram posts.
Oh, yeah.
If you're listening and want to know who we've casted, we capture all of our castings in our highlights. Mm-hmm. But to remind myself, I looked through our highlights.
I didn't do that.
Oh, you...
That's such a good idea. It would have been easier. I have like a list, but still. And I also have my keg, David Diggs.
David Diggs. Yeah, which is better than my Elbrook.
I'm just going to stick with those 2. I feel like those were more...
Okay, I had 3 also.
Oh, okay, then Dax Shepard as Judd.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I really like it. And I liked it even more I thought about it.
I wanted to give a shout out to my Tom Hardy as Rip and Logan Marshall Green as Riot.
Yeah.
That even though I think maybe my Logan Marshall Green, I wouldn't readily cast him as Riot. I just liked that Tom Hardy and Logan Marshall Green look so much alike that it's a fun casting.
Yeah.
But I do like Tom Hardy as Rip.
It's just not who I picture in my head, but I do like him.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll ever find someone that I'm just like, yes.
I do also like my Michelle Yeoh as Queen Isolde.
Yes.
I thought that was a great choice. One. And it looks like she's in the new Wicked movie too.
Yes, she is. Oh, you know who I kind of like as Rip is Joe Montalda. Don't know how to say his last name.
Monjil.
You know who I'm talking about?
Who I cast as Stanton?
Yeah.
Okay, well that makes sense if I cast him as his dad. I guess so. The one that I put as my number one was Journey Smollett and Wyatt Russell as Astelia and Thursel.
Oh, yes, that was a really good one. That was a good choice. I feel like just the descriptions and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're my top casting.
I like it.
Okay. The Steve Buscemi Award for Achievement in Multicasting. For those of you who don't know, what that means is someone who we've casted multiple times.
Yeah.
So in our initial podcasting, Steve Buscemi had been casted multiple times in the ACOTAR series.
Yeah.
So that's where its names come from. So he gets the name for the honorary award.
Yes.
So who have we multicasted in this series?
This is more for you. The Smiths. The Smith family. Even if you would cast like someone else, I still feel like you would be like, but also...
How about the Smith family?
Any one of them.
Yeah.
As well... I think we ended up kind of like just, I can't remember his name now. Because you had cast him for...
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that who you have?
Yes. Yeah. Giancarlo Esposito, I cast as Manu. Mm-hmm. But then when I showed him to you, you're like, oh my god, that's a really good Loth Pruin.
Yes.
And then the other one I had was Willow Smith as Barley. I cast her as Barley, and then I also had imagined her as Una as well.
Right, yes.
But I want to give it to Giancarlo because that was an actual casting.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
As Manu in Loth Pruin.
Yeah.
So, congratulations, Giancarlo Esposito.
Yay.
You won the Steve Buscemi Award for Achievement in Multicasting. Steve Buscemi will greet you at your home with the award.
Yeah.
So look forward to that.
Yeah. Don't leave your house.
Don't. Just wait for it.
Yeah.
Just wait.
He'll be there.
He'll come in your window and surprise you when you're sleeping. Okay. Favorite book?
It was so hard. Now, just like talk about favorite moments, it like makes me change my mind a little bit.
Pick it. Pick your favorite book.
Gleam.
Okay.
I kind of yes. Gleam. I'm gonna stick with that. I feel like that one and the next one I'm kind of tied with, but I just Gleam because I feel like Oren finally leaves that space and lets Slade in, and there's just so many moments in that book that I loved, and so many like horrendous things at the same time. Yeah, that's all I got.
Imagine I was like, wrong answer. Mine was also Gleam.
Okay.
So we're in the fifth kingdom for that one.
Yes.
This was when Oren starts fighting back.
Yeah. And
she starts being more independent and like sneaking out.
Oh my god, another favorite moment when she falls over the railing.
Yes, and then Lou's there. Yes.
Hi, Lou.
She's learning new things. The Rip relationship is evolving. And then they have the hot kiss on the balcony. And then he says, we're quite the pair, you and I. And then she kills Midas. Like,
Yes.
there's so many good things in that book.
Yeah. And, like, she's really torn down in that book, too, but, like,
you see the
fights
build-up.
back.
You see the light.
Yes.
And then she, like, visits the fourth camp because she misses them.
Right? We all
it's
did.
like so sweet.
Yes.
Like, obviously my runner-up was like Goldfinch because it's just like we get the answers, we get the so there's parts of that I love. But yeah, Gleam, this our second read around. I do want to give a shout out to Glint because as someone who like didn't get it the first time, and I was like, okay, where are we going with this?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like this. My reread, my second time reading
Loved it.
I loved Glint.
Yeah.
Her being with the Fourth Army, I am almost tempted to go read it immediately right now. I just had, I just saw it in a different way. And
I think, like really knowing
it.
Where it's going and then just like seeing how like what Slade's doing, what the Wrath's doing and the things they're saying to her.
Yeah.
And she still like she can't see clearly fully yet, but yeah, I really liked it. Like I remember starting the next one, I'm like, oh, I kind of miss the army time and the little tents.
I know there's so many answers to this because then as we're talking, I'm like, yeah, but what about Glow? And then even though there's like really hard parts in that, she like builds relationships with the Wrath and with Rip and slash Slade that are so,
yeah.
There's I like all of them.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Ultimate loser.
Ooh. I have two people.
I mean, there's so many options.
Oh, so many. It was really hard.
Yeah.
Queen Kayla, you're awful. You're awful. And, like, I also, like, I do respect that it's harder for a woman to gain power and to do things.
Yeah, I mean, give her credit.
There is things that I do actually really like about her.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm just like, you're the worst. You're selfish. Like, you couldn't even, like, give 2 seconds before you're going off and be like, oh, okay, well, now I'm going to...
So, I'm sorry to interrupt you, because I know we talked about Queen Kayla in the last one, but I'm thinking, like, in the whole series, like, the ultimate loser.
Yeah.
And I just remembered Queen Isolde.
Okay, I changed mine to that over Queen Kayla, because I do actually like her a little bit. Yeah, Queen is 100K, yeah.
Well, there's lots of options, but I just like I forgot about that.
Okay, I changed mine to that and to Midas.
Okay, Midas was mine.
Yeah.
I feel like even though Oren had already been abused, there was Brennan and there was Durford Harbor. Midas really took it to another level.
A really gross other level.
Manipulating and capturing her.
Yeah.
And taking her for years and caging her and really manipulating her mind to the point that her journey happened to trying to unleash herself from that and evolve. But he is such a pivotal part in this series, the start of it. Like, that is the premise, right? Yeah. King Midas making gold, even though it's hers.
Oh, what a twist.
But obviously there's so many ultimate there's Stanton, there's King Kayak, there's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stanton's, I feel like, one that's really up there, though.
Yes.
Yeah. MVP?
MVP. Overall MVP. Who's yours?
Like Oren and Slade.
You gotta pick one.
It's so hard. I have to do Oren. I just feel like for just literally everything you just even said about Midas and like all the stuff she had to go through, in her younger years, and then just literally for everything her going through, and then even finding like the bright side thing to like get her through that. And she was still able to just do all that and come out and fight. And then even when she would like lose her ribbons and get pushed down again or couldn't control her gold, I just love her so much. You know, keep fighting for yourself. It also really helps to have a cheerleader like Slade.
It does help. Yeah.
So shout out to him. Okay, who's yours?
Mine was Orin.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
This book started with her in a gilded cage, right? This is the book, right? This is the premise. Her in a cage.
Yeah.
She is the golden caged bird.
And then she can fly in the end.
And in the end, she can fly. Okay, so the first dedication in this book from Guild is to the ones who try but can't see the stars, keep looking up. The last dedication in the book is remember you are stronger than the dark and you have the wings to fly.
I forgot all the dedications and how good they were.
I mean, that's the story, right? Is someone who needs to, despite the situation that they're in, needs to see the light, needs to see the stars, needs to keep looking forward, to keep finding perspective.
Yeah, like keep fighting. And I think also just like realizing what you deserve as well.
Yeah. This is a very big abuse story.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can glean other lessons from this book, even if it isn't you're someone who has experienced abuse. But I think just like let's talk specifically about abuse victims, as if you've experienced any of that. Reading this book is huge. I don't know if Raven has experienced that. I would imagine being able to note these details, that maybe that is the case.
Yeah.
Right? Like just being able to talk about the idea of being caged and caged in your mind.
Yeah.
Not only the physical presence of a cage, but the way she's able to describe being caged in your mind, even when she comes out of it.
Yeah.
And not being able to shake the
like it takes
cage that Midas created, and then looking at the world as like something bigger and something with more opportunity, and looking at yourself as someone who is capable. Like that is a whole journey which we got taken on in this series that came to such a nice conclusion.
Does such a good representation from someone like in an abusive relationship, and really gets that like feeling right. I think like where it, like I said at the beginning, like I was like, oh my god, this actually is like so relatable and how you feel, especially like after, where it is like even if when she's not with him, you still have that like caged feeling and you almost don't even like realize because you're so clouded from being with that person.
Love.
Yeah. And you think it's love, and like you can't see clear. And I think in a lot of, especially like with abusive relationships, like you see people being like, just leave, or like I don't understand why like you stayed, or it's just like you don't get it unless you're in it. Like I think people who haven't been do understand, but I think I've also like explained to other people,
or they can,
like, and they're like, well, you could have just done. I'm like, you don't understand like the mindset that someone's in when they're in that. And I've seen a lot of people comment about that, how it was just so relatable in those first two books, I think. Just really like being like, oh, like, yeah, you get that from it.
Okay, that's it.
Oh,
that's it. Thank you very, very much, Raven Kennedy.
Yes, for this beautiful piece of art. I love you for creating this.
I love these characters. I miss these characters. I will come back to this series.
Yeah, I will 100% reread it. I'm excited to see what she does next.
If you're not already following us on social media, we are Books and Booze Podcast on TikTok and on Instagram. We share our drink photos there, our drink recipes, and other fun stuff that we attempt to do where we think we're funny. Whatever platform you're listening to us on, if you can give us a follow, give us 5 stars, give us a comment, that's incredibly helpful, and we're very appreciative, and it's really helpful. Okay, toodaloo.
Bye.